Hello, and welcome to the Black and White Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. We decided we're going to change it up a little bit here. In episode 11, decided to do a little Thanksgiving episode. With Josh speaking and Josh here, my co-host.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving and the merriest of holidays.
As we sit here, it's Monday, actually, at 9:30. We're doing the podcast a little bit early. It's a halftime of the game, 17-14. It's been a pretty crazy game here. The Rams are up just like everyone thought, 17-14. But
saw a little bit of Antonio Brown action, which was fun.
Yeah, but so it's looking like the game's going well, but happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. We're going to start we're going to back off of football for a second and just kind of go into some Thanksgiving questions. I'm going to ask Josh some this or that for food items and see what his preferences are. I got a few here. Some opinions might be controversial, so maybe a trigger warning. I don't know. Do you like cranberry sauce?
Oh, I love cranberry sauce.
Okay, I don't, but
absolutely love cranberry sauce.
Do you like it better freshly made or from a can? Because I know that's a hotly debated topic.
I don't know. I love both. I've always loved cranberry sauce. But I'd say probably I'd have to go with freshly because I like the seeds. I really do like the seeds of cranberry sauce. It's quite delicious, actually.
All right. Bold. Just kidding. I don't really know because I don't eat cranberry sauce. But that's cool. What about, and this is one that I have a very strong opinion on, but I think we'll disagree. Cornbread or biscuits?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. I'd probably say cornbread, but biscuits are great too, though. There's still a debate there.
Yeah, I got to go biscuits. I hate cornbread, and this podcast is gonna make me sound like a picky eater. I swear I'm not. I love food, all of it, but
Josh
cornbread.
is a very picky eater.
No, cornbread is so dry, and I don't like the taste personally. But hey, that works. Now this is one that I actually don't really know. It's a tough one. Smooth gravy or chunky gravy?
Ooh. I can honestly say I don't know if I've had chunky gravy. That actually doesn't sound good.
I'm pretty sure I have.
So I'm going to go with smooth gravy, but
I'm going to agree with you as well because I just don't remember.
It's like I don't think I've had chunky gravy.
Yeah, I don't know what the chunks are. This is one that I definitely have a strong opinion on. Ham or turkey? Yeah.
See, I haven't had either one of those meats in a while.
That's right, you're vegetarian. What's the vegetarian equivalent to this? Beyond turkey or beyond ham?
No. Ham or turkey? I'd say probably ham, to be honest. Ham, if you get a really good ham's much better than turkey.
I completely agree with
much
you. I think ham is... Yeah, ham
turkey
is like...
can be very dry. I've had a lot of turkeys that have been very dry.
It's hard to make right. Ham is just pretty much good no matter what.
Exactly.
It's like one of my favorite meats. So good. So, just a couple more. That one's kind of dumb. I'm not going to do that. This one is a good one. Homemade stuffing or stuffing from a box, the stovetop stuffing.
See, I like both, too. That's the thing. Because I like both for certain qualities, but... I don't know. I like box so much, but I like home top a lot. I'd probably say home top. Just because it's a little bit fresher and I don't have it as much.
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm not picky. I hate homemade stuffing. I think it's disgusting. I love stovetop stuffing.
He's not picky.
Every time my grandmother would make she would make homemade stuffing, we'd all be like, "Nah, this ain't it." So now all she does is stovetop stuffing, at least for us, because it's great. But yeah, I just don't like what people put in their stuffing too. There's like cranberries and raisins and stuff. Fair. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Do you like sweet potatoes?
I do. A lot, actually.
See, I don't, but I swear I'm not picky. Do you like This one's more for you. Sweet potato casserole with marshmallow on top or with no marshmallows?
Definitely with.
I would have guessed because I feel like that's the whole thing. This question, I mean, I don't know, it's okay. Mac and cheese with breadcrumbs on top or mac and cheese with extra cheese on top? It is kind of rough because they're both really good, I think.
I'd say probably with bread on top, but it has to be crusted.
Okay, I'll take that.
Sounds weird, but...
I think I'm going to go with extra cheese, but that's tough because I like both so much. They are both very, very good.
Yep.
The last one on this list, well, actually there's two more. One means nothing to me, but maybe it will to you. But this one, do you like plain mashed potatoes better or loaded potatoes better? Like loaded mashed potatoes?
Just plain.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that as well. Because, I mean, that's a classic. And you never know what's loaded in there. So, this one I have absolutely no opinion on. It's our actual last question on this list. But you hopefully will. Creamed corn or creamed spinach? Do you eat either of those? I don't.
Creamed spinach is okay, but creamed corn is not really that great either. I'd say probably creamed corn, but...
Let's change that to corn or green beans.
Corn or green beans?
I don't know if that's fair, but...
I mean, corn, but...
Yeah. Although my uncle makes green beans with like soy sauce and it's incredible. I would probably choose that over corn if that's an option, but I don't think it is. So that's all the Thanksgiving questions I had. Just a few fun ones. We're actually we have a list of players, each of us, and we assigned a food to them from Thanksgiving. So we're going to go over our lists, and I think they're going to be pretty good.
Also, before we do start, I want to give a shout out to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope he gets back sooner than later. I know
too.
that he tore ACL, PCL, so he could be
And
out
MCL.
at least next year, maybe even next year. So hopefully he gets better.
Yeah, I think they said he's questionable, I guess, for the start of the season next year. Like, they're just it depends on how he heals.
Yeah.
So you said it was just a lot of just structural damage in the knee, and he's going under surgery. So I mean, prayers out to him. Hopefully he comes back healthy as ever. He was a lot of fun to watch. It's really sad because he's such a promising rookie, and I was very much looking forward to facing him again, and I really want to face him for years to come. So hopefully he comes back better than ever, and we know he's got the skill, so it's going to be exciting to watch.
Hopefully the Bengals draft him literally a whole entire line so he doesn't get killed all the next time he comes
This is your
back.
franchise quarterback. Protect him. I mean, come on. That's 101. Football 101.
Yep.
That's just an injury that shouldn't have probably even happened. But poor guy. But yeah, if you want to move on to the list, I guess.
Definitely.
Do you want to go first?
I mean, I was actually thinking we could just go
Back and forth?
We could just go back and forth.
Yeah, that's fine.
Until we're almost finished.
Yeah. What do you want to start with?
I mean, I'm starting with turkey.
Okay, let's do it.
I mean, I'm starting with the guy who carries it all. He's the guy. He's the guy. And
I know
who
this
else?
one is.
Who else but DK Metcalf? He is the guy. DK Metcalf has played insanely well this year. Last year, DK Metcalf had 900 receiving yards. This year, DK Metcalf, 862 in 10 games. He has 9 touchdowns, and he had 7 last year. So DK Metcalf is killing it right now. Not even just in fantasy, but in general. So happy for DK. Was only a second round pick. This man is turning into a incredible receiver, and so happy for him. Yeah, he is the turkey.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That man is a monster, and he is definitely the main course of the Seahawks offense, really. Him and Russ. So that's a great one. I have for my turkey, I have 2 because I couldn't really make up my mind because one is on my fantasy team and holds a very dear place in my heart, and that is DeAndre Hopkins. He's the best receiver in football, at least top 2, and he's so good, and you can just always rely on him. He catches everything. I mean, Kyler Murray can just yeet the ball up in the air, and D-Hop will probably end up with
yeah.
it. So I have him, and I have Devontae Adams, both receivers also.
Yeah.
Because Devontae Adams just a monster workhorse, basically the whole offense. Him and Aaron Rodgers just tearing up the league. So yeah, I think he's a good turkey, a good main course.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both incredible receivers. Love them very much.
Mm-hmm. See, and then I've got Ham next.
Yeah,
actually,
that works for me.
My Ham is somebody that I traded for.
Me too.
It's the man, Patrick Mahomes.
That's funny.
He's my next course.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He has 3,035 yards this year, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So Patrick Mahomes is having an insane year. And the crazy thing is he's barely even being spoken about for MVP. Kyler Murray seems like he's going to be the guy, but Patrick Mahomes has 2 rushing touchdowns himself. So Patrick Mahomes has 29 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions and no lost fumbles.
That's pretty incredible.
So Patrick Mahomes really deserves a little bit of MVP talk. I don't even know if I'd say a little bit. I'd say Patrick Mahomes definitely deserves MVP talk. He's just been one of the best players in the league this year. And 3,035 yards, he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is really good. He's there's no doubt about that. He has incredible weapons around him. He could easily be an MVP candidate for the next, several years. Like, he's that good.
A long time. Yes.
Yeah, so he's always going to be in talks. Mm-hmm. This year, like you said, he hasn't been the guy that's been talked about every single week, but he's putting up the numbers. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see what happens later on. Like, when that decision comes, it's almost like who's the hot guy along with the stats. I feel like for the MVP, most of the time the hot guy is the best player, but I think Kyler or Pat could both be talked about. I do think that Kyler and Patrick Mahomes both could be very much going at it for MVP. Personally, I'm going to say Kyler Murray, who is also my Ham. Mm-hmm. It's funny that yours was Patrick Mahomes. I also traded for Kyler Murray, and I was going to talk about him being in MVP running. So it's funny that we both have quarterbacks as our ham and receivers as our turkey.
Yep.
Kyler Murray, he's got 19 pass touchdowns and 10 more rushing touchdowns. That's 29 touchdowns on the year. That's insane. Just insane. Incredible.
Yeah. He has the exact same amount of touchdowns as Patrick Mahomes then. Patrick Mahomes has 27 passing, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
So 29.
Yeah, so here's 19 pass, 10 rush touchdowns. Yeah, so 29. So, the same with touchdowns. He's got 2,644 yards, so a little bit less. However, he does have 619 rushing yards. Mm-hmm. So you have that, kind of like a Lamar thing last year, where it's like a little bit less passing, but a lot more rushing.
Yeah.
So, he's my ham. In my opinion, ham's better than turkey. So he's the star of the table, Kyler Murray, for me. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch and definitely ham material. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you got next?
I have mashed potatoes.
Okay. Yep, that's what I got.
And my mashed potatoes are another Chief player, Travis Kelce. Kelce has just been another phenomenal year for him. Really, this will be Travis Kelce's, as long as Travis Kelce stays healthy, will be his 5th straight 1,000-yard receiving year in a row.
Wow.
He has
crazy.
Yeah, 5th straight. So he has 896 yards through 10 games and 7 touchdowns. He has 4 less receiving yards than DK Metcalf and 2 less touchdowns. That is insanity for a tight end. So Travis Kelce is just proving that he really is the bar at tight end. Mm-hmm. He's the bar at tight end in fantasy, and he's the bar at tight end for any tight end that wants to be compared to him.
Yeah, he's basically taken over the role of Gronk, almost, like with him basically. I mean, he's back in the league now, but he's not the same Gronk, of course. But Travis Kelce took on, like Jimmy Graham before him and Rob Gronkowski and Zach Ertz. Like, he's the number 1 tight end without a doubt. Every year, he's that guy. It seems like there's always one tight end who just stands out, and it's Travis Kelce now. This is Travis Kelce's NFL.
He's playing so well, and he's really, Patrick Mahomes is feeding him. So I think he has even more potential even though he's been in the league for a little while. This is his 7th season now.
Doesn't matter. He's just as productive as when he was like, well, I guess he's was he this productive with Alex Smith and all that?
Yeah, his first 2 seasons in 14 and 15.
Said 5 years.
He had in 14 and 15 before he got 1,000 yards. He got 162 his rookie year and 175 his sophomore year, and 5 touchdowns in both seasons. And then in 2016, he had 1,125 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then 17, 1,038, 8 touchdowns. 2018, 1,336 yards, 10 touchdowns. And 19, 1,229 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, he's just been insane.
Yeah, that's incredible.
44 total touchdowns in his career.
That's insane. Yeah, so he's the tight end in the NFL.
He's the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, definitely. It makes mine seem a bit underwhelming.
I love mashed potatoes though.
I do too. They're like my favorite side. Yeah. So,
oh boy,
this is one of those. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I put for my mashed potatoes Terry McLaurin.
Okay, yeah.
I really like Terry McLaurin.
Terry,
He's had a quarterback situation that's been very iffy because just new people. Like now it's Alex Smith, was Haskins, and then it was Mullins, and now it's Alex Smith. But despite all of this, he's still an amazing, incredible receiver. Mm-hmm. And if you can show that you're still a great receiver when you have quarterbacks like Nick Mullins throwing to you, and I mean Alex Smith now, who's a good quarterback, but still, it's just when you have a revolving door at quarterback and you're still producing, that's impressive, and that's the sign of a great NFL receiver.
Yeah.
And he has 871 yards this year. He's almost broken 1,000 at this point. He has 3 touchdowns, which isn't crazy, but look at his quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that he almost has 1,000 yards at this point, that's incredible.
That's only 29 off of DK Metcalf's in total. That's 900.
Yeah, and this is Terry McLaurin, like someone who's barely being talked about on the Washington football team. Mm-hmm. The Seahawks are a way better team than them. Yeah. So it's just like, imagine if he was on a good team. Mm-hmm. But still, it's something.
He has much less competition, I would argue that.
That too. That's very true. But
impressive,
still impressive.
Yeah.
Gives the Washington a lot to look forward to. It gives whoever their quarterback is a weapon. But he's my mashed potatoes. He's just like that, just a solid side that he helps no matter what. You know what you're getting. He's consistent. He's great. Mm-hmm. So that's my mashed potatoes.
Okay.
I think we have gravy next, right?
I actually have stuffing. I actually added the stuffing.
Okay, I do have stuffing as well. So we can go stuffing then gravy if you want.
Okay. So I decided to go a little bit off of the rolls here, and I made my stuffing Brandon Williams.
Okay.
Because we said we could do any position, so I figured I'd make my stuffing a big guy. Yeah. And Brandon Williams the Ravens have missed him in the line, so he's my stuffing. He's my big
stuffer
guy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a good one.
I miss him for sure in Baltimore.
Yeah, no,
Hope he gets healthy soon.
Me too, because it's a noticeable difference with run defense, especially just when he's not there. He's such a big body, like you said, just to stuff the line. So that is definitely a good stuffing. I actually went a bit of a different approach with my stuffing. I took the stuffing as a player who everyone thought was going to be really good, but it was all stuffing. It was all bad. It was all just, it wasn't true.
That's funny.
And I have stuffing, and then I also added stuffing with cranberry because I like it even less.
Oh, okay.
So I for my stuffing, I have 2 people. First being Hayden Hurst. He went to Austin Hooper's position, who had an incredible year. Hayden Hurst, I mean, he had a lot of potential. He was with the Ravens, did decent here. It was looking like he was going to have a great year this year, and he really hasn't done much. He's been in games, and he's had decent games, but he just hasn't been, like, amazing. Not the Austin Hooper level that we thought. Not that we thought that he would get to Austin Hooper's levels, but we thought something like that, just with that offense.
Even though Austin Hooper's been a little bit underwhelming this year, just because of injury and such. But I mean, I wouldn't blame him necessarily for that.
But looking at like last year, Austin Hooper on this offense is what I'm saying.
He excelled a lot with Falcons.
Yeah, so you were kind of at least hoping like, hey, maybe Hayden Hurst will do something similar to that, but he didn't. So far, he has 411 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
He's been in the games, but just nothing. I also have Hollywood Brown. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to do so much more, hasn't done much of anything. And I would argue that it would be lack of just opportunity. But every time he gets thrown the ball, I mean, he has more drops than he has passes. Like, it's nuts. It's insane.
Yeah, Marcus Brown has been super disappointing.
Yeah, he just really, really has been. Just isn't getting separation, doing what he has to do. And yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm going to also add on the stuffing of cranberry real quick as a sidebar.
No. I need to know.
Yeah, my stuffing with cranberry this year, because it had so much stuffing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had a good game last week, but I mean, he hasn't done. He was supposed to be the guy this year. So, and on a team like the Chiefs, like you think like, I want a piece of that. I just want a piece of that offense, and a running back on that offense, the number one only running back on that offense. Come on, but no. Instead, Clyde has 655 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns. That's it through 11 weeks. He just hasn't done much. And this past week, he looked decent. It looks like since they brought in Le'Veon Bell to add some pressure, he's done a little bit better. But he's all stuffing right now. Next year, maybe he'll be a little bit better. But he's my stuffing with cranberry. But that was...
You know what? My next one is actually gravy.
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
So, I have a good gravy. He is a gravy because I drafted him so low, and he's the smooth gravy, though. That's the thing. He's not chunky gravy. I don't know what chunky gravy is. I don't rep chunky gravy. I'm not a chunky gravy repper.
We're not chunky gravy men.
You see, we're not chunky gravy men. But my smooth gravy is DeAndre Swift. I got him in the 7th round.
I like it.
He was a stash guy, and DeAndre Swift, I didn't know if he was going to turn out. But, he sat on the pot, and DeAndre Swift warmed up, and you weren't sure if it was going to taste good, but, it tastes so good now. Because DeAndre Swift is producing. Even though he had a concussion, it's okay. He's still producing well, and I'm happy he's playing well, because he seemed like a really good back from Georgia, and he's my gravy. I really like DeAndre Swift.
It's kind of been one of those slow burns, just slowly gotten better and better as the years gone on. A very good topping. So, yeah, no, that's good. My gravy, he's been one of my favorite players this year, and being a Ravens fan, I can't make a list like this and not include a kicker. I got to show some kicking love.
Of course.
However, the gravy isn't going to be Justin Tucker. However, I love Justin Tucker. But I'm going to give the gravy because I drafted him, because I love him. Young Ho Koo. He's going to be the gravy this year. He's been...
Okay.
So he's kicked 25 field goals, made 24 of them. He's on the Falcons. He's a big scorer for them. He just kicks a lot of field goals because they don't finish a lot. And he's almost taking like a Justin Tucker role for them, where like they don't finish. He's got to get involved.
Yep.
So he's been just kind of that gravy to my sides, gravy to my mashed potatoes and stuffing. He's just, especially in fantasy, just sprinkled those extra like 13, 15 points that you don't really expect from a kicker, but he produces every week. So he's going to be my gravy. Got to give some love to kickers. I'm sorry, Justin Tucker, you would be on there, but you're a little too obvious. That's the only reason, and I don't have you. But yeah, Young Ho Koo is going to be the guy for gravy.
My next up, I've got 2 roles.
All right.
Because usually I don't just get 1 roll. You don't get 1 roll when you get to the table.
That's
you
true.
Gotta get 2.
Because you don't want to go back for a roll.
Exactly.
No one goes back for a roll.
Can't be played like a fool.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have 2 roles.
Okay.
And my 2 roles, even though they complement each other, because I don't think roles are the main course.
They're like somewhat forgotten.
They're good. They're kind of forgotten, but they're still good.
They add to it.
And my 2 roles are Austin Eckler.
Okay.
And Christian McCaffrey.
The 2 that have barely done much but are stars when they start.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are good roles.
Because they can be good roles. They can be the best roles ever, but maybe your mom just added a little bit of starch in them. Maybe she wasn't on her best that morning.
They're like the Red Lobster rolls, like that garlic buttery roll. But, like you said, maybe your mom messed up a little bit, so they got a little injured. But when they're there...
Oh, they're
there. Yeah, those are great rolls. Um, yeah. It might make my role look a little bit less great, but I was looking for people that, just kind of get overlooked, but they're there and they're making an impact. Roles add something to the meal, not a whole lot, but they add stuff. So people tend to look over them. My role, I put James Robinson.
Okay.
He's been a great running back, but just kind of looked over, not really talked about a whole lot. He has been talked about, but in fantasy, he's the number 4 running back. So I feel like he just hasn't gotten the respect that he deserves. A good role really deserves some respect, and I feel like he deserves some respect. He's done a lot for the Jaguars, and he's been one of their best players, and he's been relatively consistent.
Even through Gardner Minshew getting injured, really.
Exactly. So I think he's going to be my role. He's just that solid little side piece that you're glad is there, but you don't think about so much. But yeah, so that's my role.
Okay.
I think we have mac and cheese. Oh, I have mac and cheese.
Go ahead. You can go.
Okay, well, I did a mac and cheese. I was thinking mac and cheese is yellow. Who on my fantasy team is yellow? Chase Claypool. He's a great side. He's got 10 touchdowns in 10 games.
He has been a great side.
Just been wrecking. Yeah, I got him off of waivers. He's just been a nice... I can put him in my lineup and know I'm going to get at least around 15 points, at least. And that's on just an average day. He'll probably get more if he's going off. But... yeah, he's just like a solid option. He's a great receiver in that offense. I hate to, just gush over the Steelers, but their receivers are just so good, and it's hard to deny that. They're just so good, and he is, just a great... it's crazy. He's like the, second, third string receiver, but he's just so good.
Yeah, they all produce there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's getting recognition and everything, much like mac and cheese gets their recognition. So I'm going to give that one to him. And I did one more just because I wanted to put him on the list.
See, I was going to actually... are you cool if I try to give mac and cheese?
Oh, yeah. If you have one, that'd be awesome.
See, I was going to say that my mac and cheese... I want to say this is my mac and cheese just because he's just filled the gaps. And sometimes cheese does that. It fills the gaps in your heart,
It really does. Cheese fills the gaps of the heart. I've heard that before. I'd say
that my crusty cheese is probably... this sounds crazy, but I think it's Giovanni Bernard.
I like it.
He filled the cracks for me this year, man. I'll tell you. He came up big when I needed him. And even though
Mixon's been out for a while.
Got about 10. He's produced in the offense, even though Joe Burrow's gone. He is my mac and cheese.
Listen, the way running backs have been this year, if you get 10 points from them, it's respectable.
You're just lucky,
yeah. So that's a good mac and cheese. Very good. I did one more, and this one, I feel like this is not a very... it might be a common Thanksgiving meal.
I don't. One more too.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I don't know if we should go with this one or if we should change the food item.
No,
I put broccoli casserole.
Okay, go ahead.
Just because my mom makes the best broccoli casserole and I love it, but it kind of gets overlooked, and people are like, broccoli casserole? That sounds gross, but it's so good, right?
Oh, broccoli. My mom makes incredible broccoli casserole.
I could just eat broccoli casserole for the entire Thanksgiving meal. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's one of those, it doesn't sound great, so it kind of gets overlooked. The Chargers, they don't sound great. We kind of get overlooked. Justin Herbert, he's been great. I had to put him on the list.
Okay.
And he's going to be my broccoli casserole. He came out of nowhere, just like broccoli casserole comes out of nowhere but changes your life.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert changed the lives of every single Chargers fan.
Yeah. I've got one more thing.
Great. And yeah, he's perfect for that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I've got one more thing, though.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got all this food.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you don't have anything to drink.
That's a good point.
And what is better than a side of fruit punch, am I right? So I got my side of fruit punch. I got Marlon Humphrey. Okay. Marlon Humphrey's my side of fruit punch. I've got Marlon Humphrey's got 4 forced fumbles. He's got an interception. He's making tackles like a machine this year. So Marlon Humphrey is my side of fruit punch. I just decided I had to put that in there.
I love that. That's perfect. That was his Twitter handle, so it worked out perfectly. I guess we should have added like a pie, but like I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I should have made like Justin Herbert my pie. Maybe just like thinking off the top of my head and watching this Buccaneers-Rams game, I could just say Gronk is the pie because you had to wait a while to get the pie. You had to wait a few weeks to get Gronk into this offense, but once he got in, he's been good, and that pie is always good. But you got to wait for it, and you gotta earn it by eating all that other stuff. So, do you have anyone else or anything else? All right. It was a lot of fun talking about this. I had a lot of fun with this list. I really enjoyed that. But I guess that's everything for us for tonight. It's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode. We have a lot going on this week, so just editing and everything. We're trying to just do something a little bit different. So,
but thank you so much for listening. We hope that you listened. This is a little bit of a different episode. We know the beginning was weird, but we hope you listened.
I think it was just as much, if not more fun than our regular ones. But yeah, thanks for listening. Check out our YouTube, like and subscribe. Check out our Patreon and the tiers, blah, blah, blah. Give us money. All that. So, yeah, thanks for listening. That's all I got to say, though. Bye.
Bye. We're out.